Whenever I hear these words, they send shivers down my spine in how unfathomable they are. Gaming is dead. But have you ever stopped and wondered why you say that? Is it because of that one game that you just can't get the hang of? Or is it that one game company that just drives you insane by how stupid they are? Is gaming actually fun? Am I wasting my time in this world that I can never be in? In this video, we're going to be talking about all the fun that can be had in games. I'm also going to be sharing about how to fix that mindset and why people think that way. So without further ado, let's get into why gaming is not dead. First, to know the good parts about gaming, we must know the bad parts as well. One negative thing is that most games are overpriced now. We skip the $70 price tags so quickly, and most of these games don't even deserve the $80 price tag they've been given. So many games and game companies have fallen off recently, and honestly, it's heartbreaking. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and the Nintendo Switch 2 is just way too much. The games are overpriced, the system is overpriced, and the console doesn't even run as well as a Steam Deck. These companies are firing good game developers and replacing them with people who it feels like haven't even touched a game in their life. Games seem like they're falling apart right before our very eyes, and we can't seem to stop it no matter how much the community rightfully complains. But with every one negative thing to say about gaming, there are 5 positive things. Like most indie games are doing great right now, even the older ones, Hollow Knight, Hades, Stardew Valley, Schedule 1, and so much more. The gaming world is not in trouble, and it's all because of these low to mid-budget games getting all the praise and the recognition they deserve. All these AAA titles like Assassin's Creed Shadows are not doing very well. They're recycling and reusing the same game over and over again with just a little bit of a different twist to it, and it's frustrating. EA, as you all know, is a horrible company only seeking to burn a hole in your wallet. The indie games are what are keeping me hooked on gaming. A great example of indie games taking over is actually Schedule 1. You know, the game about manufacturing and selling drugs to watch people be turned into Cyclops and green people. Guess how much Assassin's Creed Shadows cost? $70. And guess how much Schedule 1 costs? $20, nearly 1/4 of the price. Would you rather spend your hard-earned money on a game that is pretty much a copy and paste of the last game that you already have, or would you rather spend it on a game you actually enjoy? Indie games are doing a great job with having the passion for the games they're creating. While Ubisoft and EA are milking the same game over and over, indie games are dominating, while also making it so much more fun to play games again. My favorite games of all time are Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Those are AAA games, but they were released in 2020 and 2024, with great graphics and story told throughout the entire game. They made the original Final Fantasy VII better in so many ways. That is what we want. If you're going to make a remake of a game, or another version of the game, make sure that that version is better than before and keep striving for better. That is what us gamers want, and indie games are giving it to us. So in my opinion, games are not dying. They're getting a rebirth. In my opinion, PlayStation, Xbox, Ubisoft, EA, Nintendo, and many more major game companies need to step up their game for this next generation to even try to compete for the top spot compared to these indie games. I really believe they can do it. Gamers don't want some game that's been copy and pasted and sold for another $80 when you could actually take time and effort into your games. Quality over quantity is the best policy. That's what I believe, and I think a lot of people would agree with me too. So how do we fix the mindset of games are bad? Well, to fix the mindset of not enjoying the games, you first have to label the root cause of why you feel that way. I want you to ask yourself, and answer honestly, when was the last time you ever enjoyed a game? And not just try to enjoy it, but actually love what you're doing. For some people, it might just be 20 minutes ago. For some people, maybe yesterday. And for some people, a year ago. Was the last game you played a game you truly enjoyed? I want to ask you another question. What makes you like or dislike a game? Maybe because it's too grindy. Or maybe you like the grind, and you like to see all the progress you've made so far. Maybe you're just sick and tired of the same game and slapping a different number at the end. Maybe you don't like how slow-paced it is. Or maybe you like slow-paced games. Whatever you do or don't like about games, they are all valid. But why do we feel this way? Why can we not enjoy the games we so desperately want to enjoy? Well, the answer is not as big and bold as you may have hoped, but the answer is to take it slow and soak in all the pleasures and the amazing things the game has to offer. Stop focusing on the bad of every game, which I know is hard sometimes, but try to focus on the great views, the beauty, and the goodness of the games you play, no matter what, even if it's by EA or not. Although I would not recommend doing this with EA or scammy games. If we stopped focusing so heavily on the bad of every game and start focusing on the good, maybe things would be different. And when you turn on that console or PC or whatever you play on, maybe you could finally enjoy a game again. It's like if you focus on the bad in your life in your eyes would be the most horrible thing. But if we focus and rejoice in every good thing that comes our way once in a while, we might see the bigger picture. One more question I have for you is, why do you play video games? What is the reason you boot up your PC or pick up that controller one more time? Why do you feel so empty when you do it now? When you were a kid, you remember going down to your game system, no responsibilities, just gaming all day with your friends or by yourself. Unfortunately, that doesn't always last. Everything gets in the way. So I encourage you, the next time you have a game that you really want to play it because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. If you don't really want to play a game, don't force yourself to play it. You'll feel unfulfilled when the ending comes, and it'll make everything worse. It's all about the willingness to play. Then, maybe, just maybe, you can finally enjoy games again.